Okay. So today, we are studying supplier performance evaluation. Got a few slides to get through. So I'm back into our sourcing cycle here. And now this is the last piece of our sourcing cycle in test 1. We handle this in test 2. But we're almost complete. All right, conduct supplier performance evaluation. So factors used to analyze a supplier's ability to perform. Capacity and utilization, which is very important to us. Important to know if the supplier is operating at capacity, meaning they don't have any more room. Typically, a plant operates between 80 and 85% of its full capacity. The other 15 to 20 is used for maintenance and downtime. So if you've got a supplier that's operating at 95%, means they're probably not doing maintenance and it's going to crash sooner or later. Delivery performance is usually measured as a percentage of total orders. So orders shipped, orders on time, 95%. Quality history, usually in defects per million opportunities, or PPM is the shorthand for that. What are the recent trends in Supplier? What's the process capability? Their CP and CPK, which we study how to do in test 2. The CP needs to be above 1. CPK needs to be above 1.33. We'll cover that more in test 2. And contractors make or buy program. Is it better to make the product yourself or to contract it to make it, to have somebody else make it, you buy it? Usually this is done in PACCAR by our manufacturing engineers. It's part of the company's core competency. You should make the product, because if you contract that out, you're just creating a competitor. So our core competency at PACCAR is the assembly and testing of the truck. If the product involves proprietary technology, you should also make the product. And then cycler lead time, time that elapses from the placement of an order. So we send the EDI to the supplier until we get the part on our doorstep. That's the lead time. It will dictate the level of inventory a company must carry. And productivity is always defined as a ratio of inputs to outputs. So increasing productivity indicates an active continuous improvement philosophy, and decreasing productivity indicates a major problem. And flexibility, percentage increase in production that a supplier can achieve given a certain notice. That's their definition of flexibility. Technology capabilities, if the supplier can't do this stuff, we probably don't want to be working with them. Well, RFID we don't use because it's expensive. Scorecards, we've got 2 types. We've got SPM, and then we've got the one in GPPS. And financial stability, our controllers look at labor stability. What's their labor turnover? If it's less than optimal, meaning it's a high labor turnover, could be they're not paying the workers enough and they're going elsewhere for a better deal. Issues in conducting site visits, so going out to the supplier. So a reason you do it is because you can always build a better relationship when you meet somebody face to face than talking to them on the phone, or even worse, talking to them on email or text. Cleanliness or orderliness of the plant is the first thing you look at. If you go down our plants, they're always clean and organized. If you see junk all over a place, probably got quality problems. Level of maintenance and investment. Are the employees involved and well trained? Is there evidence of metrics hanging and managing by the numbers? Usually if there is, they've got it on a wall chart somewhere. Cost versus benefits of visits. Benefit, the information can be gained, and relationship building may take or outweigh the cost, and usually that's the case for us. Site inspection team. Provide various perspectives on the supplier. If you're going out for formal inspections, you want to go with some kind of core team. Materials, purchasing, quality, PPD, you other folks. And things you're going to look at, facility condition. Again, if it's not clean and organized, you probably want to stay away from it. Process or material flow. Does it make sense, or they got WIP built up everywhere and they walking all over the place trying to get stuff to the next station? Employee engagement. What do they do? Surveys of their employees? What's the turnover rate? Measurement of key performance indicators. Are metrics reported? Are they tracking metrics of any type? Where are they recording them? And then health and safety. So anytime I've gone to a plant and they've got a good health and safety record, when I've met the plant manager, that's one of the first things he's going to show me. If he doesn't show me that at the beginning, then I got to wonder, is it any good? Labor standards, uphold the freedom of association, abolish child labor. These things are usually not a problem in North America. If you're in some parts of Asia and certainly Africa, they can be a big problem. Waste elimination. They're trying to get rid of wasted movement, wasted material. Information security, much bigger deal these days. And the timing of the visits. You want to visit them before you make the supplier selection, preferably if you haven't been out there before. And performance audits. So usually our supplier quality guys will do these on site. So here's some supplier evaluation factors you can look at. This is according to ISM. Here's the factor, and this just describes it a little bit. But there's a good page of them there. And then the RLA form, Rapid Lean Assessment. So it comes from this book here, which is about 20 years old now. This is a good form to take and work through when you're going to see a supplier. It gives you something to look at and fill out with your team once you leave the supplier. And this is what it looks like. So executive summary on the front. Here's table 1. Just answer these questions, yes or no. Table 2, you're scoring them from 1 to 11. Why 11? I don't know. But on these different issues, there's some guidance to help you work the tables. And then the other thing you want to do is you want to try and get these numbers from them while you're walking around talking to them. Best way to do it, if you're going there with a team, is split it up. Everybody take 2 or 3 and try and get them. Not easy to do it the first time, but you'll get used to it. So that's the RLA form, very good form. And then evaluate changes within the organization. If suppliers are lagging in necessary changes, the buyer may take on a proactive role with quality to develop the supplier. Changes in management, you got to be very careful with. Usually signals a change in management style or philosophy, because that usually emanates from the guy on the top. It may or may not impact the supplier relationship or their focus, the direction that they're taking the company. So whenever you get management changes, pay close attention. Supplier evaluation. So I've got a couple of different ways of evaluation. The weighted point. You weight each of the criteria. So if you've done CP laser, that's what this is. Here's your criteria here for quality, and here's your weighting, and it does some normalization and overall and some other cool stuff here, but this is how you're going to score them over here. So this is the weighted point method. Very good way to do things. Takes a long time to set up. Then you got the categorical method. You're using a plus or a minus or a 0 for neutral. Easiest method to implement, but very subjective. We use this for our knockout criteria in the CPLAs. Q selection matrix is a categorical selection matrix. You're just putting a plus or a minus in here. I don't think they use a 0 here. But it's quick and easy, but it's very simple. And then you've got the cost ratio. And we don't really use this here, but it takes a lot to set it up. Total cost of doing business index is calculated on the commodity. So purchase price plus non-performance cost divided by purchase price. Using adjusting the bid. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. Least subjective, but it quantifies the total cost, but it's a very difficult system to set up and use. So you've got things like cost factors, quoted price, and then shipping. So it costs them $8.98 per box, say, so extra 9 cents for shipping. Here it's $7 per box, and then here it's nothing. And then discounts, the different terms. And on-time delivery, 85% on time, 89% on time, which they're just times in 8.85 times the price to get this penalty. And see, these guys are 100% on time, so they have no penalty. Quality is number of percentage of rejects, so 13% of rejects, 13% times the price. Then you add all these things up. And if you want to know the details of how to do this system, it's right here. This will go and talk in detail about how they figure each of the factors. That is the cost ratio calculation. And then you've got TCO, total cost of ownership. Much more comprehensive than the cost ratio and considers all the costs associated with product. So here's one way of looking at it. This is an article from ISM that talks about how to do it. And then you have another thing from ISM. This is basically a template you can use for TCO. So these are some of the costs you got to look at: failure, quality, administrative costs. Proactive, rather than focusing only on price, it examines the cost structure. Takes time to put together. This is another starting point for TCO analysis, quick and dirty from ISM. But this is the preferred method, PACCAR. This is put together for us by McKinsey. It's a pretty good spreadsheet. Once you learn how to use it, it will. Jeez, yeah, no, it doesn't like it because it's got a bunch of macros in it. But this talks about how to do it, and then it'll graph it for you, and here's where you put in the costs, and you can change these to whatever you want them to be. So that's the best way to do it. And this is what your graph looks like. All right. Supplier's quality history, particularly in the high-tech sector, is usually expressed as defects per what? What is 6? Yeah, million. Better be. It is. Okay. And then which of the following factors is least likely to be among those appraised during a site visit to a potential supplier? Which one is least likely? Which one would you not do when you're on a site visit?
A.
I think it's going to be A, because you would do that before you did the site visit. And controllers would do that, or the accounting guys. All these things you probably should do. Let's see if that's the correct answer. A, yeah. Typically focus on suppliers' financial strength prior to you going out there, because if they have financial problems, you're not going to go. All right, there's 8 questions out there. So guys, go ahead and start working them. And raise your hand when you get done. Otherwise, we will go over at questions at 2:20, answers at 2:25. All right, I'm gonna score some answers. I will post them so you can look at them later. Number 1 is delta. The key to lead time reduction often lies with active communication with the supplier. 2 is Charlie. The Delphi method is used to create a qualitative forecast of likely future scenarios. So you'll see this in test 2. That's the one that doesn't belong. 3 is Bravo. Radio frequency identification devices. So basically, there's small chips put on the each package, and then you have receivers all around the building so you can find your stuff. But it's an expensive system, so we don't use it a lot. PPD may use it a little. 4 is Delta. Supplier performance evaluations are concerned with monitoring current suppliers' compliance with requirements and rating their capabilities to handle increased quantities or future contracts. So that was 2 and 4. 5 is Charlie. Manufacturing companies that run 100% of capacity and utilization run the risk of equipment failure, employee burnout, and lots of quality issues. You don't want to see that. 80-85% is what you want. 6 is Alpha. Financial condition can usually be determined more effectively through analysis ratios and third-party reporting resources. So you don't need the controller with you. 7 is Delta. All 5 characteristics are important to a comprehensive picture of the supplier's capability. Again, the longest answer is usually the correct one. And then 8 is a little math problem. Is Alpha. And you look at it, and you can see that supplier A is underperforming because you're going to add to his price, where supplier B is performing well because you're going to subtract mostly from their price, even though it's 83 versus 80. And then you see these two here cancel out. So all you have to do is 0.03 times 83 plus 0.01 times 83, add the two together, subtract it from 83, and you get 79.68. Any questions? All right. Do it all again tomorrow. Talk to you guys later.
Thank you.
Yep.